Welcome to the Absite Smackdown podcast. We'll talk clinical scenarios, Absite facts, and interesting general surgery knowledge. Now, let's get to it.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's me, your host, Jess of Absite Smackdown podcast. With me now, always, Dr. Kashmir and Dr. Lee. Merry Christmas, y'all.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, guys.
Well, Colton's the only one that looks prepared. Like, he knew the assignment. If you look at his background, like, he came in swinging with that.
I got a little pushback from the amount of Christmas trees in the living room. Unfortunately, they're probably going to multiply next year to 10.
Are you a tree in every room kind of person? Because I could get behind that, honestly.
A tree in most rooms, I think. We had these trees, and I had to have a real one somewhere so we could get the smell. Because there's not many. There's not really a pine forest in Las Vegas. So we had a couple of tree that we put in there, so it smells like Christmas now, which is nice.
Yeah. Dr. K, are you a real tree or a fake tree person?
100% fake tree all the way. I'll stop at nothing to keep it easy. So fake tree.
I need the smell. You vacuum for weeks afterwards and it still smells like Christmas. I want the real thing. That's me, I guess. All right, guys. So we're here. It's our Christmas special. We have lots of exciting things coming up. This is my favorite episode of the year because it's our last episode of the year before the new year. And we get to kind of just recap and talk about what we're doing and talk about what we don't get a lot of, which is downtime, rest, and holidays. So do you guys have any big holiday plans coming up?
The Absite Smackdown podcast is going live. Reserve your seat for our upcoming live Absite review conference. Can't travel? On call? No problem. This online conference is recorded so you can catch up anytime. Reserve your spot by visiting us at absitesmackdown.com and selecting latest news for more information.
I'll let Dr. K go first.
My big holiday plans are to see every holiday movie released. Now that the new version 3.0 of the book is done. So I'm going to catch up on that. I've got multiple Netflix series to binge watch. It's going to be good. And maybe get away for a little bit, somewhere fun. All that would be great.
Well, I hope you get to go dive. I know that's one of your passions. I think you talk about it sometimes a little bit. So hopefully you get to go do that. What about you, Dr. Lee? What are you going to do?
So this is my first Christmas in 4 years. I'll be off. I'm very excited. Usually I work because other residents have families and I don't have any children or anything like that. But this year I'm being a little bit selfish and taking a couple of days off for Christmas. I'm so excited to sit on the couch, eat a bunch of food, just kind of hang out and decompress for a couple of days and maybe study a little bit for the Absite.
I was going to ask, so what is the balance with that when you guys are in your residency? Because obviously it's the holidays, family, those things are important, but it's also right before the Absite and it's some of the only time you guys actually get off. So how do you utilize that and find the balance between putting family time, putting the holidays, but still staying on track for your long-term goals?
It's hard to balance. And I think sometimes it can be a little toxic too. If you know that people are studying and you're not studying, you feel like you're behind the ball, right? And you feel like you have to. I know recently, this isn't an aside, but I was on a trip with one of our friends and I had my book out on the plane and she texted her husband, who's a surgery resident in another program, and said, well, Colton is studying for the Absite on the plane, so you better get to it. But it's about finding moments like that, right? Like I was sitting for 20 minutes and I've kind of beat it like a dead horse. But it's finding the moments and doing something every day to get better, even if it's just 10 minutes here or 20 minutes here, because it adds up.
Yeah. Well, I love that you're a brand spokesperson there, pushing it, peer pressuring other people. Those are my favorite pictures. The dog, when people have Absite with their pets or babies, but then all the travel pictures, when it's on the plane or the bus or the car or whatever, those make me really happy because I feel like I get the most work done when I'm at the airport or on the airplane. I guess because no one can bother me on my phone and I can just focus down. So I feel like those are really great places and I appreciate the photos. So what about you, Dr. K? What is your experience, especially on the other side, being the director and being the teacher rather than the student?
Well, I'm like a PGY 20 now, I think, maybe 21. It's kind of how I look at it. When I was a resident, I really every day, after I figured out what the Absite was, after it beat me up the first time around, I basically every day did something. I was pretty relentless about it. I just would review an Absite section pretty much every day, do questions every day, and then go to the textbooks for expanded reading to kind of flesh it out. But just kind of make sure I bookended with the least I needed to know for the Absite at the beginning and at the end of the day. And I did it every day. I don't mean it. It was like, I don't mean it as to be sort of like figurative or like almost every day or whatever. No, it was literally every day. And I got to be very comfortable with all the review books that I used to the point where I knew the page, I knew the fact. I don't quite have it at that level anymore, but it really became memory intensive. And then I, went on to do some questions. I never did as many questions as what the recommendations are now in the literature. I never did. I always kind of my background in school was mostly like essay based tests. I went to kind of like a British model school. So multiple choice tests were something I had to learn pretty late in life, and I never really focused on them as much as I could. And when it came to the Absite, I recognized I needed to do questions, but I did not do anything like what the number of recommended questions are nowadays. And I think that there's now plenty of evidence that doing more questions than what I did is really the way to go.
Well, so what did you tell? You've had several residency programs. You literally wrote the book. What were your leaving instructions with your residents when it went into the holiday time for them to keep in mind and do when you guys were apart and on that holiday?
Well, what we built and what I try to build with residents is to first have them get a sense of what type of learner they are, which is not something that you think we know it by the time we get to residency, but not everybody does. So we would start at the end of one Absite year, or for first years as they come in, we'd figure out what kind of learners they are. And we would kind of equip them with every resource, some base resources for everyone, and then specific resources that they would need around their schedule. It wasn't our remediation plan. It was just our plan together for everybody. And then by the time we got to, the actual Absite the day of, we tried to make it so that they were peaking in terms of performance. And we actually used some performance science data to kind of, like athletes use to kind of try to get them into their best position on the day of the Absite. We'd also say, life's not about just the Absite. Life's about making you a good surgeon and baking the cake, what you need to know to take care of people. But at the same time, it sure can be useful to perform well on the Absite and demonstrate all that hard work. So around Christmas time the game was almost over, hopefully months or at least 1 month before now. So we tried to make sure they were in a great position. And so between now and test time, it was just about peaking in early January or whenever specific date, we administered the test. So that's kind of how we did it. It was kind of like a lot of foundation work and just trying to almost obsolete the test, make it secondary. Like they knew their stuff so well that they're going to be okay on that test no matter what. That's kind of how we played the game.
Okay, that makes sense. So, Dr. Lee, do you know what you want for Christmas?
I keep telling everyone I want a month off, but I don't think it's going to happen for me.
We all want a month off. So, we here at Absite Smackdown did a Christmas gift kind of for everybody. It may not be what you asked for, but maybe someone out there wants it. Dr. K, you want to tell them about their free Christmas gift? Well, Christmas gift, obviously. So.
Yeah, right. What you guys sent me was pretty cool. The team made up a PDF, just briefly introducing Absite Smackdown, but sharing the latest version of the thyroid talk from the course that comes with every copy of the book, the review manual. So really cool. It's accessible right from the PDF. I got to see it just, it was like a tail behind Colton. There was like a shark. That was kind of cool. It's like a shark. And you know what? Yeah. It was, I was going to say, the dog can enjoy the thyroid lecture too. Show it to your pets. It's great. They love it. They stare at the screen. Really funny. But the headlines are just what you guys sent me was a very useful PDF, including the thyroid talk. And that's the one I think the team's giving away this year.
We are giving it away. Those of you that are maybe new to our podcast or new to all this, we love to give away free content. We really focus on growing and making better surgeons. And so from the podcast to all of our blogs, just free content on all of our social media. And this is just another way that we're trying to help you give back, get you in so you can see what we're all about. So that's your Christmas gift. You can sign up, super easy, comes to you. We'll put the link down below.
Jess, I'll also share that the presenters for the conferences, you guys have it on for 8, 9, and 10. The presenters at the conference have recently started sending in their slides, and there's been a strong focus on questions. Every brief talk will have questions at the end of it. Right. So while we're talking about like add-ons or good for you things, not only is that free talk, free PDF and video really cool of you guys to give out, but I really like kind of the added thing I've seen that the conference is going to have really a bunch of questions in it done sort of as a group, which was a kind of a bonus I wasn't expecting.
The Absite Smackdown podcast, bringing you the best of your Absite review.
Well, not only that, but for those of you who don't know or haven't signed up for the conference yet, when you do sign up for the conference, which is like Dr. Kashmir said, January 8th, 9th, and 10th, you get the entire new Volume 3 Absite Smackdown video review course. So, I mean, you're getting all the bang for your buck. It's right before the Absite. It's pretty much everything that you need and all the behind the scenes content. Dr. Colton, are you nervous about presenting? Are you excited? Like, you feel like, I mean, this is you're gonna have to do great because this is right before so much pressure. Like
there's
oh my gosh.
Yeah, thank you for that, Jessica. No, definitely, because you're supposed to be at your peak, and as Dr. K said, it's all about foundation work, and a lot of the game was over a month ago or a few weeks ago. And so, especially by the time January comes around, this is to kind of hit those pearls that are definitely going to be on the test. This is stuff that hopefully by then I'll know like the back of my hand, and like in previous years. And so hopefully we hit it out of the park, although there can always be a couple of curveballs that are thrown my way.
All right, well, this will just work out your nerves, you're just going through it, being in front of all the people, going through the stuff publicly. Like, I mean, it's not like people get to like stand there and watch you screw up on the Absite, but here they get to watch you prep.
Oh my God. Well, let me tell you, Jessica, I definitely agree with Colton that, being prepped up to a month beforehand is great. I do think though, based on the number of questions and the fact that the timing of the talks are to make them accessible for everybody, sort of in the evening, it's a little bit different. And I think there's still, no matter how prepped you are or not at this point, I think there's still some utility to doing it, because it's going to be, the talks are just the highlights and some high yield questions that come up with people who really kind of know their stuff about it, whether they wrote the chapter in our book or another one or something. So really, I am really interested to see how this is going to come together. Like I said, these are things I just wish I had when I was a resident. And that was the whole idea about starting with the book. So it's really cool to see it now out there, sort of what I wish I could have had when I found the Absite head on the first year.
Right. Too bad we can't just somehow get this to, residents' families. Hey, are you looking for that last minute Christmas gift? Help them get them the comp, right?
Yeah.
That would be
genius right there. Don't tell my mom; she'll buy me a couple more copies.
Oh, it's so pretty. Let me see the new. I gotta switch out the background. I love
background. You have to get it fixed.
Yeah. Does it feel good?
Yeah, it turned out well.
Yeah, it looks good. That's awesome.
Yeah, you guys did a good job.
Yeah, I like. There's nothing like when you hold it the first time. Like, I'm not an author. I'm just on the, publication side, but I still get excited. I can't imagine how you guys feel like with all the work and the time that you put into it to like look at it and see your names and open it up and feel like all that hard work finally paid off. So, Dr. Lee, was this like your first time you were an author, or have you previously done?
This is my second time. First time, though, was a very long time ago, and it was not related to medicine at all. So this is kind of the culmination of a lot of years of work and being able to, put it pen to paper and help out and build on what Dr. K has done. was a great opportunity. And so it's awesome to hold. And I showed my parents and my family, and they were very excited.
Well, this is the first
Very
time
cool.
Dr. Lee as in print, right? As the author. So how'd that feel? Pretty good?
It was very good. Fortunately, like you said, now the standard's set. So if I get any questions wrong on thyroid or small bowel or pediatric surgery on the Absite, then there's no one to blame but myself.
Well, Colton, can you challenge them with your own book? Is that allowed? I'm just kidding. Just say this is not what Dr. Lee said. No, I'm just kidding. Of course, none of us would ever do that, but it sure would be funny. So, yeah.
So, I mean, I'm sure Dr. K, you're just old hat at this. Seeing your name in print doesn't spark anything special anymore. Or is it just more relief?
No, it's 100% special every time. Because of everything I've ever written, this book in a lot of ways means the most to me, because I know what surgical residents go through. I know all the challenges and hurdles, and I know how they've changed and in some ways even become more numerous since I finished. A guy who used to teach us said, back in the day, elective cholecystectomies used to stay in the hospital for 5 to 7 days. Now, of course, they'd often have a subcostal incision, and there were some other issues, of course. But my point is, and the point he made, is that what remains in the hospital now is often higher acuity than what residents used to have. There are now multiple new layers of administrative requirements that these residents have that otherwise take their time, whether they're in the hospital or not. So I say all that because this book of everything I've written means a ton to me, because it's the culmination of my notes for the Absite anyway, years of prep for it, trying to bring everybody together for it, doing the videos that you guys had me do. It means a ton to me. And as soon as I get my copy, best believe next time I was working out, I had the book there with me. I was every bit as excited, pardon the saying, but as a kid on Christmas, because it means a lot to me every time.
Yeah, I can't believe you haven't got your copy yet. I feel like we're slacking when the original author doesn't have his copy. So
no, I actually did get my copy. It actually just came yesterday, and it was with me working out this morning. So I got to see it, and I always like to see how big it ends up, and is there room for notes and all these things, and it has all that. So my compliments to you guys. It's super useful. It's going to be a useful book.
Where are my pictures of your book at the gym then?
I'll get them to you. I promise.
For me, you make my job so difficult. I know y'all have them. I know you have those books all the time, but yeah, I mean, Dr. Lee sent me a really great picture of a Christmas tree and all white, and now seeing his background, I understand why. When he got like, oh my God, this is the best picture ever. Now we know why. So, anyway, speaking of Christmas, just kind of wrap this up. Christmas plans, make time for family, make time for studying. Upcoming conference, you have your Christmas gift. You just have to, click on the links below and sign up to get it. Everything that's on the horizon, volume 3 is out. I'm just really looking forward to the holidays and a break. I don't know about you guys. Anything else you want to add? Anything you want to say?
No, I wish you both happy holidays, and for everybody out there watching and listening, wish them happy holidays too, to be with their family, friends, or if they can't be with anybody and they are working, we've been there too. All of us on this podcast have been there working, and Colton and myself in the hospital. So, keep going. You guys are doing great out there. That's my holiday message. Whether you're alone on Christmas or the holidays or not, best of luck. Keep it going.
That's my advice too, is just take a minute, to center yourself no matter where you're at the end of the year this year, no matter what holiday you celebrate, and kind of refocus, reflect on the year, and get ready for a new year, a new Absite cycle as well. So just kind of reflect and get ready for a new year, and happy holidays.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Again, happy holidays to everybody. We thank you for all your hard work, all your sacrifices that got us through this year. And don't forget, #Absite Smackdown.
Thanks for listening to the Absite Smackdown podcast. Visit us at absitesmackdown.com for more great Absite facts.